Hey guys, how's it going? Oh man, I've got to turn that volume down. Here we go. Oh, Garrett Crochet has just allowed his first hit of the day to chase Mydroth. It's so very fitting that the guy who would break up Garrett Crochet's no-hitter is the guy who was traded for him. I mean, that's just a perfect example of um, poetic justice, I tell you. What is mini Skywars? Oh, this is a new thing. Okay, interesting. I've never played this version before. Let's do the Hound. All right. So, hey, welcome. I haven't done a Skywars video in a little over 2 years now. The last time I made a Skywars video, the quality of the audio was terrible. I cannot rewatch the video at all. It's a truly horrendous video, unfortunately. Kind of defeats the whole time capsule purpose when I can't even rewatch the Skywars video. But oh wow, I'm late. Um, but yeah, so the last time I did a Skywars video was, I think it was January of 2023, and I was home on my uh, I was home on my winter break, and see, now the Red Sox have allowed a run, and it's like, how do you go from you're about to throw a no-hitter, you're in the eighth inning of a no-hitter, and now uh, you're allowing Matt Tice to drive in Chase Mydroth? I mean, what are we doing here, Garrett Crochet? Man, I tell you what. Um, so yeah, I was about to finish up college at that point, and now here I am. 2 years later, I've done a video since. This isn't my first video since then, but um, since I made the last Skywars video, at least I've graduated college. I've moved to a different foreign country, Canada. Not very foreign, but it's not the U.S. It's not the country that I lived in for most of my life. I finished up college. I've got a job in accounting. I've got my own place, and I've got my car and all that. And oh man, I'm getting double teamed. Oh, it's the stupid skeleton double teaming me. Oh, that's nasty. Watch this, watch this, watch this, watch this, watch this. Yeah. I'm not logged in right now. It's been a while since I've PvP'd. I've been... Oh, man, why is my computer being bad? That's weird. Yeah, I got back into playing, UHCs for a while with my friends, but, it's been a little bit, so I guess I'm not exactly locked in. So, forgive me for that. Okay. 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 No, I'm not losing. I'm not. Now, he was still swinging after I was dead, so. But yeah, so, um, this year has been a strange year so far, where it's mostly been characterized by me getting into retro video gaming, which is a very double-edged sword. It all started with me wanting to um, dig out my old PS2. I still have my childhood PS2 in pretty good condition, surprisingly, because we had two PS2s growing up, but I am still holding on to um, the second one that we purchased, and it is in pretty good condition. We did break one PS2. I know we broke our original PlayStation 1, and then we broke our first PS2, and then we replaced the PS2. We didn't replace the PS1. We replaced the PS1 with the PS2, and then the PS2 we replaced with another PS2. And I'm in possession of that second PS2. I brought that with me when I moved up here. Um, hmm. um, I'm going to try a different game mode. I'm not really feeling Skywars this time. So I still have that original PS2, and I wanted to play the PS2 again with whatever games that I had on tap, And so I went to my grandmother, and she let me take her old CRT TV, which is the first TV she's ever owned. I tried playing PS2 games a few years ago, but it um, didn't really work because they're not meant to be played on HD TVs, and that's all that I had was an HD TV. That's the same one that I've used for my PlayStation 5. So I tried that, and the picture quality just came through really bad because it had to distort the picture out to a larger and wider screen. So at the advice of YouTube, I got a CRT TV instead and started playing PlayStation 2 games on there, the ones that I already owned. But then I thought, hey, why do I gotta stop here? What if I started to go back to all of the games that I didn't play growing up that I wanted to play and start playing those and kind of treat the oh, that was a long fall, and treat the PS2 like I should have when I grew up. Because I growing up, I had a PS2, I had a PS1, PS3, PSP, DS, DSi, DS Lite, it was DSi, 3DS, Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance, Game Boy Advance SP, and Wii. I think I got everything. And then since then, since childhood, I've also gotten um, a PS4, PS5, and an Xbox Series S. The digital only one. I don't know. I got rid of that really quickly. I hated that. Um, so I wanted to go back and play a lot of the games I missed out on, and then I realized, you know what? Why stop here? Why not replay my 3DS too? Since I didn't really play my 3DS too much growing up, and so that's really ballooned into a whole big thing of me getting into a borderline addiction of spending on retro games. I don't have many retro game stores around here. I got two. One of them is just really more like a antique store. People just lend out a little section in that store, and one or two people have a some old video games there. Not much, but I have dropped a good little bit of money from there, so that's nice. The other one, can I actually get back up to the top? Ain't no way. That's crazy, dude. Um, and so I bought like $20 worth of PS3 games there, which is like four games. I guess he sells them for $5 a pop. So I bought four PS3 games from there. No remaining double jumps. Okay, that only works one time. Um, and then I've bought uh, uh, a DS game on eBay. I don't know how many PS2 games I bought on eBay by now. Five PS2 games on eBay, probably, and one DS game. And it's really becoming an addiction at this point, and I've really got to slow it down. But the biggest issue that I have with this whole thing, beyond from that, is, um, man, nostalgia's crazy. Nostalgia's crazy. Let me talk a little bit about nostalgia. This won't be super philosophical. It's gonna be a little philosophical, maybe just some things that I picked up over the years. But nostalgia is a a great thing to have. I'm glad that we have the capability of feeling nostalgia, that I can look back on the past and feel nostalgic for it. But for some reason, let me just die and get into a lobby and really talk for a minute. I cannot focus. Oh, this is a huge map that I wasted my life on. I can't really focus on two things at the same time. So let me just get somewhere. UHC lobby. Yeah, this is perfect. This is perfect for what I want. Let me now go to default texture pack. Really doing something with this. And what if I got off my Fulbright? Where do I get rid of Fulbright? Alright. Graphics, is it? Nope. General? Bright. Light. Huh. Full bright. How do I get rid of Fulbright? Maybe I can't disable it. That would stink. Is it under mods? Yes, it's under mods. Fulbright, there it is. Perfect. Alright. Now this still isn't quite right. I think they changed something. Maybe they brought in some natural lighting into here, but this'll do good enough. So, nostalgia is really crazy because I can look back at this and I can think on all of the incredible times that I had in this lobby right here and in this game mode right here. UHC in general is something that took up a lot of my younger years. Um, Not really younger years. When I say younger years, I mean my teenage years. So probably from the ages of 12 to 16. Right around my 16th birthday was when I got back into console video gaming, and I played Minecraft much more frequently from there on. After 16, my hobbies were PlayStation 4, Stardew Valley, The Flash and Arrow, when those were past their prime, and getting into sparkling water. Those are my hobbies from 16 and onward. But um, I can look on this and not really feel sad. It feels bittersweet to look at this knowing that I'm just looking at a dead husk, that UHC is nothing like what it used to be. Um, Earlier this year, we tried getting my UHC group back. I think I have some public videos on my channel of what we call Bluey UHC, and that was an attempt to get back a lot of my old friends from the UHC group, some who I still talk to, some who I didn't really talk to much, to get them back and play some private game UHCs again, and that was very successful last year. We had a lot of good games last year, a lot of fun games. Um, Tried that again this year, and the most people that we got was seven. Um, I got mad a lot. I rage quit a lot, and I hated seeing that side of myself get brought back out. I think that I even turned off some friends. Um, One who only came back for one game, and then um, I made him mad. I got mad. Probably made him mad, and haven't seen him since. And that's probably all on me. Um, But where am I going with this? Let me itch my ear real quick. I can't hear you. My ear's itchy. I can't hear you. My ear's itching. Um, but yeah, I can look back on this, and now that I'm in the original lobby, I'm getting more hits of nostalgia from like 2014 era, and great memories. It doesn't really make me sad to see this though. Um, it just fills me with good memories and a weird pit in my stomach, but it's pretty manageable. Um, Another example is I watched two movies I watched recently. I watched the first two Hunger Games movies back in February. Some reason I didn't move on to the third one. I don't know why. Maybe enough time has passed. Maybe I was just trying to watch them all too quickly to each other and I got burned out. But I watched the Hunger Games and the Hunger Games Catching Fire, and I noticed in those movies some of the characteristics of the early 2010s. Um, of course, Minecraft Hunger Games is a big thing. Survival games, as we more commonly called it. Of course, that brings back a lot of memories and a lot of nostalgia. And seeing Katniss with a bow and remembering Huahui saying Katniss, which is something that so transcended Huahui and just became part of my and my friends' lexicon. Seeing the hairstyles, there was a big difference in 2010's hairstyles. Gail had a very kind of Justin Bieber-esque faux hawk, maybe. Maybe I'm exaggerating that. Maybe it wasn't that bad, but my brother had hair like that in the early 2010s, so that brought back some nostalgia. I remember some Hunger Games parody songs that I listened to. I didn't even watch Hunger Games growing up, but I did watch some parody music videos, and so that brought back that nostalgia for 2014, 2015. But not really sadness. It brought back a lot of good memories, but not really sadness. But then when I try to go back to my PlayStation 2, I still had some of the original cases from when I was a kid. I try to go back to that. When I tried to go back to my 3DS, my DSi, I was trying to go back to my DSi recently. It was originally my brother's DSi. I think he got that in 2010 or 2011, and I was as soon as you go on the DSi has a really incredible home menu. One of the coolest features that it has is, and maybe I just say it's incredibly cool because I um, grew up with it, but um, when you start up the DSi, it will show you on the top screen a random picture from your photo library. And because this was before we had iPods, um, we had a lot of pictures on that DSi. And my brother took pictures of his childhood bedroom, of my sister's childhood bedroom, um, of all of us, of my dog 4 months after we got him. And now my dog is 14, 15 years old. I think 15 years old. And there he was as a 4 month old puppy on my brother's DSi. There's my grandfather who passed away uh, almost 5 years ago now. There was a friend of my family who passed away um, sometime last year, I think. There was my cat who we put down back in 2016. There was, or 2017. 2017? 2017, I think. Um, there was my brother was a Phillies is a Phillies fan, and so he took pictures of Chase Utley on the TV, Charlie Manuel on the TV, Bobby Abreu for the Phillies on the TV, and so a lot of Phillies pictures on there. My mom and my dad are on there. My grandmother's on there. Um, Friends of my family who there's some this guy that I know who is just a little bit younger than me, maybe a year or two younger than me, and he just got engaged a few months ago. And there's a picture of him at maybe 7 or 8 years old on my brother's DSi, and that kind of nostalgia fills me with so much sadness that I I don't know if I can really pick up that DSi again and start playing it like it's 2011. Because there's so much sadness attached to that. There's so much sadness attached to my PS3. I try to go on my PS3 and I just go back to my account and I can see my chat logs with my friends around my neighborhood who I would message and ask them to play a game of Madden with me. The horrible spelling of me from 2009, 2010, 2011. I couldn't spell like anything correctly, and then the early days text talk of us saving as much space as possible because we were using controllers and keyboards to type, so we couldn't say tomorrow. We had to say TMRW, all of that, U instead of YOU and all that. Maybe some of that still persists, but it was especially an issue back then because of how we had to type, not with our fingers, but with keyboards and buttons and all that. And so now, and we had a lot of pictures that my brother pulled off the internet. Pictures of me and my brothers in our Little League uniforms when we were very young. 7-year-old me in my Little League uniform is on there. Um, and my brother put a lot of songs on there. He put his whole classical music collection on there, and we have some other funny songs from our childhood, like the Obama national anthem. Yeah, this is from the Obama administration, the first Obama administration that we had that PS3, and now we're four administrations past that. Second Obama administration, the first Trump administration, the Biden administration, now the second Trump administration. That's so long ago now. That's so long ago now. So much has changed since then. But it's still all preserved in that original PS3 that we had growing up. And that nostalgia is so sad that I can't go back to that PS3 and play Uncharted 1 anymore. The four games I picked up were Uncharted 1, Uncharted 2, um, Elder Scrolls Oblivion, and Skyrim. I've played Skyrim for like 70 hours on my PS4. I thought, you know what, it'll be cool to own this physically. Let's own this in the original hardware. So I picked up the Anniversary Edition on the PS3 for $5. And then the other one was Need for Speed Most Wanted, which I got absolutely ripped off on. I paid $20 for that, and I cannot fathom why. I got it for $1 on my Steam Deck, but then my Steam Deck couldn't play it, so I bought paid $20 to put it on my PS3. And oh, Trevor Story home run. Nice, nice, nice. I'm like 20 minutes into this video. I don't care. You watch it or you don't. Um, and so there's so much sad nostalgia with my game consoles that it prohibits me from going back to them. I think of playing on my uh, 3DS. I think of even just buying a new DS Lite and playing the DS Lite. I have some DS games here to play. I could play those on my 3DS, but I could also play Game Boy games on my DS Lite, and DS Lite just feels really nice in your hand. I always felt that the 3DS XL felt really bad in your hand. It's big, but the big screen is nice, but it's not very ergonomical. It feels pretty bad in my hands. I don't say your hands because I don't know if it felt bad to you if you ever played a 3DS XL, but to me it felt pretty bad. So I thought maybe even go back to DS Lite, but there's so much sad nostalgia wrapped up in that stuff. Where with movies, I can just leave that all in the past. Um, I watched Paul Blart Mall Cop last night. And again, there's nostalgia for the late 2000s in there, mid to late 2000s. I think it's a 2007 movie. It was one of my favorite movies growing up. To this day, I still find it kind of funny. Not as funny as when I was a kid, but it's still pretty funny. A lot of the humor's much more dated now, but um, I can enjoy that still. But when I try to go um, on my brother's DSi, there's just the pictures there that just make me so sad for the world that doesn't exist anymore. There's a phrase, I don't know if this phrase is attached to movies or to a specific work of art or to a song, but it's just a phrase that I've seen around the internet that the world that I grew up in no longer exists. And um, movies that we liked as kids can serve as good time capsules for the past. The funny things of how we spoke and how we dressed in the past can be preserved nicely. But when I see pictures of the actual past of people who are gone or of people who have grown up and become adults, childhood pets that are gone, um, just an overwhelming sense of not nostalgia but sadness. And that's made it so that this hobby of retro gaming is not something that I've been able to enjoy. Maybe if I detached myself from the original hardware, um, I'm not suggesting emulation. Emulation. I could talk about emulation for an hour-long video, probably, where, great to make games accessible, but at the end of the day, it kind of is theft. Even if Nintendo doesn't provide you with a way to play Tamagotchi Life anymore, it's still theft to pirate that game. So, don't know how I feel about all that. You're not robbing money from them. You're not robbing a physical thing from them. But if they say you can't have it, you can't have it, right? Um, but but detach myself from the gaming consoles that I had growing up. So, would I get that same feeling if I wiped my PS3? If I got rid of all the data on my PS3, I put it on a SD card and upload that to my computer and bury that away in a Google Doc. Um, and I just play what's essentially a brand new PS3, would I still get the overwhelming sense of nostalgia? If I stop playing the games I grew up in, right here on my desk, I look at my DS game collection and I have Looney Tunes Duck Amuck, Spyro Shadow Legacy. I hated that game even growing up, and people say that I was justified in hating it. SpongeBob Draw to Life. I remember playing that on a long car ride from the U.S. to Canada. Major League Baseball 2K10, that game runs horribly. Ben 10 Alien Force, huge Ben 10 fan growing up. If I just play these games over and over again, then it's probably just me craving my childhood and chasing my childhood. But um, if I forgot what I already had, and let's say I buy a new Nintendo 3DS, and I buy some uh, Zelda Link Between Worlds, and a little bit of Zelda Majora's Mask, a little bit of Mario 3D Land, a little bit of I don't know, uh, Mega Man for DS, and Bravely Default, or whatever. I don't even know what that game is. I just know that's a JRPG, and I want to get into JRPGs sometime. Would I still get that same sadness, or could I detach my feelings from the past and say, this stuff is, there's nothing wrong with playing older games. For some reason, when you watch an older movie, um, my buddy Jackson is into 80s, 70s, 80s, 90s dad movies. I like to call them. He likes those movies a lot, and so, nobody bats an eye. They're just like, oh, that's his taste in movies. For some people, they like black and white movies. My brother's favorite movies include Casablanca and Citizen Kane. Casablanca, I think, is his maybe second favorite movie of all time. That was probably dethroned by Dune Part 2, but for a while, his favorite movie was Casablanca, probably followed by Empire Strikes Back. I was like, oh, he has a taste for older movies. That's fine. But when I want to pick up a DS Lite and play, why can't DS games come to mind right now? I've been doing a lot of studying, but I can't think of a DS game right now. Rhythm Heaven. I couldn't think of anything else, so let's say that. When I want to do that, people are like, "Oh, you're just craving your childhood. You're just nostalgia farming, nostalgia maxing. Your childhood is over. Let it die. Play a PS5 or a Nintendo Switch. You're just living in the past." I feel like that too. I feel that. But why? What makes that different from watching old movies? If we view video games as works of art, if we view them as games, I can play Monopoly. Monopoly's a really old game, but I can still play Monopoly. But I can't play old DS games without being accused of just nostalgia bait. And I feel that too. So I don't know what the difference is. Help me out. I don't know if anybody thinks this deeply like I do, or if they just do what they want to do. I don't think that this is an issue of me being afraid of what people think, because again, that voice is in my head too, telling me that you're just trying to relive your childhood, um, and that world no longer exists. But I don't know why I feel that way, because I don't, I don't know. I don't know why I feel that way. But yeah, that's been my year so far. Yeah, don't know how to end this video, but I'm gonna call this a Skywars video. But this was not at all a Skywars video. This was more akin to a podcast. So I hope you guys like this. I don't know if you enjoyed my rambling. I can do more of these. This is just what I think of all the time. This is always what's on my mind. I write these thoughts down occasionally and thought about getting into blogging, but I don't know. This feels like such a personal thing that I don't know if anybody else can relate to the things that I think of. I had a buddy in college who just he kind of thought not about these things, but like this, where he just had these deep thoughts or these weird concepts that he came up with, and it was interesting to talk to him because it's the kind of things that you think, oh, I'm alone in this. Nobody else thinks the way that I do, and there are people who do. And my friend at college was like that. I don't talk to him much anymore. I call him maybe once a month or once every other month, but I don't know. I don't know if people think the way that I do, or if I'm just a weird and if I'm just a chronic overthinker. But yeah, hope you enjoyed.